Spoiler talk, let's do this. Hey guys, this is Bat Van Dam back at it again with another video regarding Captain America Civil War. This is gonna be a spoiler talk of the movies. Just in case you haven't watched it, here's a link to my previous video which is a spoiler-free review of the movie. Go check it out. Seriously? You didn't watch it? Then what are you still doing? Go watch it. It's been a week already. So the first scene, it's 1991, we see Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, being brainwashed at a Hydra base in Siberia, and he gets dispatched to intercept an automobile carrying a suitcase of super soldier serum. Yeah, those blue little packets. Back in the present day, approximately 1 year after Ultron's defeat, we see Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow and Falcon in Lagos. They are trying to stop Rumlow from stealing a biological weapon from a disease research center. Rumlow is Crossbones in the movie. We see some cool shots in the movie like Scarlet Witch lifting Captain America up using her psychic powers. She also uses her powers to remove the gas from the building. We see a lot of action sequences from Falcon, Black Widow too. Finally, after catching Rumlow, he tries to kill Cap by exploding himself. But no, Scarlet Witch traps his explosion using her telekinesis powers and lifts him up in the air so that no one gets hurt. She's very strong. But it gets out of control and the explosion kills a few people in a building. And later we find out that those people were Wakandan humanitarian workers. This pisses off the king of Wakanda, King T'Chaka, as to why the US agents are working in other countries and causing so many casualties. So this argument leads the UN to form the Registration Act. At this point in the film, Tony Stark gets introduced and we see a deep emotional scene where a woman confronts him and blames him for her child's death. After that incident, the US Secretary of State, Ross, comes to the team and informs them that the United Nations is preparing the Registration Act, which is known as the Sokovia Accords. This Sokovia Accords creates a UN panel which controls and oversees the Avengers. And Tony Stark supports this and he thinks that each and every Avengers should sign this, while Steve Rogers thinks that their own judgment is better than being controlled by the government. And in this scene, we see some nice exchange of dialogues among the Avengers. And at the end of the scene, Steve Rogers gets a text message that Peggy is dead. Not that it affects us emotionally, but she dies. And while all this is happening, we get introduced to the villain of the movie, who tracks down an old Hydra agent to get the book, and he asks him about Mission Report, December 16th, 1991. Yeah, that's how he said it. So this old Hydra agent has the book which was used to control the Winter Soldier, and Zemo takes it. And then we jump to a conference in Vienna where King T'Chaka ratifies the Sokovian Accords. And here we see the Prince of Wakanda, T'Challa, for the first time. And out of nowhere, a bomb explodes, killing King T'Chaka and many others. The security footage shows that the explosion was caused by Bucky Barnes, and T'Challa vows to kill him. With the help of Sharon Carter, Rogers goes to bring in Bucky along with Falcon. And there we get this amazing chase sequence where Black Panther tries to chase Bucky and kill him. This was an amazing scene. You see them running like very fast, like 80 kilometers per hour or 90, I don't know. But they get stopped by War Machine and cops, and all four of them get arrested. They confiscate Captain America of his shield and Falcon of his wings. They give them a receipt of the confiscated items and it says bird wings instead of falcon wings. Bucky is kept in a pod. Zemo infiltrates this facility where Bucky is held by taking the position of the doctor who was supposed to interrogate him. And Zemo gets that book with him, starts reciting those words which brainwash Bucky. He goes berserk. Shit goes down! He breaks the things holding him down on the chair. He breaks the pod and he comes out. Tony Stark, Black Panther, Black Widow try to stop him, but they fail. And now comes one of the best parts of the whole movie. You see Bucky escaping on the helicopter, and yeah, Cap stops him. He just holds the helicopter with one hand and the rod on the helipad with the other, and he just stops the whole helicopter. Those bicep curls. Knowing that he can't escape, Bucky just crashes the helicopter down and Cap and Bucky fall into a river. And later when Bucky gets back to his senses, he tells Rogers that he wasn't the one who bombed the conference in Vienna. It was Zemo who bombed the conference in Vienna. And he tells Rogers that he's not the only Winter Soldier. There are many more in Siberia. What? And after knowing about all this, Cap decides to form a team to stop Zemo. And this is where Ant-Man gets introduced. And on the other side, Tony is forming his own team. And this is where Peter Parker comes into the movie. Tony goes and meets him and he wants him to use his spider powers to stop Cap. And that's what I liked about the movie. They didn't waste any time introducing these new characters. They just went on with the story. I like it when a movie does that. And now, I would say that this is the best fight sequence in any comic book movie. Yeah, that fight sequence that happens at the airport. We have Team Cap versus Team Iron Man, Team Rogers versus Team Tony Stark. The great showdown. There were many things that I loved about this fight scene. There were a lot of surprises and there was a lot of fun in it. Especially Ant-Man, the part where he turns from Ant-Man to Giant Man. I didn't expect that. That blew my mind. I also like the part where Cap gives props to Spider-Man saying that he has heart. This was a great sequence, guys. You could see the showdown between all the superheroes that you grew to love in all these movies. The end of the fight sequence, Rogers and Barnes escape and the rest of the Rogers team are detained in a raft prison. And while they escape, Rhodes is paralyzed after being accidentally shot by Vision. And later Stark finds out that Bucky was framed by Zemo, and in fact Zemo was the one who put off the bomb. He shows the evidence to Wilson and Wilson gives him Rogers' location. And Tony flies off to Siberia unaware of the fact that he's being followed by Black Panther. And once they enter the Hydra facility, they notice that all the other Winter Soldiers have been killed by Zemo. And in this moment, Zemo shows a footage from the Hydra archives which shows what happened on December 16th, 1991. This footage shows Bucky killing Tony's father and mother. And Tony gets angry in its rightful sense. Now there's a huge fight between Iron Man and Captain America. Captain America is trying to save Bucky because he thinks that Bucky was not in his rightful sense and he was being controlled. And during this fight, Bucky loses his bionic arm and a lot of shit happens. The fight ends with Rogers disabling Tony's armor using his shield, and it departs with Bucky leaving his shield behind. That struck me right in the heart. And this is where I decided my side. I'm neither in Team Iron Man nor Team Captain America. I'm Team John Cena! That joke is too old, right? And on the outside of this Hydra facility, we see that Zemo is trying to commit a suicide, but T'Challa stops him and hands him over to the authorities. This is where we find out Zemo's backstory, where he says that his family was killed in Sokovia in the Ultron incident. Now he wanted to take revenge by creating a conflict among the Avengers. At the end of this film, we see that Rhodes is able to walk with the help of exoskeleton provided by Tony, and Rogers breaks his allies from the raft prison, and Tony gets a message from Rogers which says that he's always there whenever needed. I didn't say this in my spoiler-free review, but this movie has credit scenes like every Marvel movie does. There's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. In the mid-credit scene, we see that T'Challa provides an asylum to cure Barnes' illness, and in the post-credit scene, we see Parker testing a new gadget provided by Tony. This was a great movie. For me, it was the best Marvel movie. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it while it's still playing in the theaters. Guys, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, not Pepsi, share this video and subscribe to this channel for more. I'll be back.